I'm here today with Raven Duchess.
Hello,
Hey.
Luke, Big Falls, and everybody watching.
This has been a while coming. I've been wanting to talk to you for ages.
Yeah.
So thanks very much for making time to spend with me today. Last night you were singing right on this stage here at the River Brewing Company. How was that?
Awesome. The energy from the crowd, the energy from the band, it was a vibe.
Awesome, eh? So you like Vic Falls?
Oh, definitely. This is like a second home for me.
But Harare, is that where you were born?
Yes, born and raised in Harare. I do shows there. But I think I like Vic Falls a bit more.
Okay. Why is that?
Oh, everyone is always just jovial, and the mood here is holiday mood all day, every day.
Nice. And when
Beautiful.
when you're here, obviously, you know, you're here to perform, but do you get some time to go and check out some of the sights and scenes?
Definitely. I'm going to check out the falls just after this interview. Beautiful place. Big Falls is a beautiful vibe.
Something about when you're walking around those falls, they just give you that extra energy, right?
Yeah.
Right, Raven, I want to find out, dig beneath the surface here a little bit and find out a bit more about you. Tell me, first of all, obviously, growing up in Harare, what was that like for you?
Oh, Harare is always just busy, and it's kind of hectic. But growing up in Harare was cool for me. I grew up in the Milton Park area, so it was a chilled vibe. And then I ventured into music, which is why we're here. And the music part of it has also been an interesting journey for me.
When did you discover that you had musical ability?
By default.
Were you singing in the shower
heard me.
or the bath?
Someone heard me singing, a friend, and they were like, "Wow, your voice is so awesome." Personally, I didn't think much of it. You know, I thought everyone else could do the same thing. And then I started there was a place called the Book Cafe in Harare,
yes, I remember
and there was an open mic. So I said to my friend, if I sing at that stage and people don't like me, I'm gonna throw in the towel. So I stood there and I sang a cappella, and everyone just stopped and started watching, you know.
Wow.
It was a very strict crowd, whereby if you are boring, they will keep doing whatever they're doing and will not pay attention. So that's how it all started.
Wow, the Book Cafe, that's in Newlands, right?
No, it used to be in the Avenues area.
Avenues, okay.
5th Avenue.
But
yeah,
I
the old
remember it
Book
had
Cafe.
a reputation. I don't know why I thought it was Newland, but it had a really strong reputation for people that in the music industry knew what they were talking about. So
Yes.
getting a seal of approval on that first a cappella was obviously gave you the confidence to go on. And so what happened? What happened next?
Oh, then you have to start somewhere. I started working with a hip-hop artist, actually,
Wow.
hip-hop and spoken word. So I used to do vocals for this guy. His name is Outspoken. And during the shows when we used to jam, everyone would be like, we want to hear your music too, you know. So the people have always had this great energy towards me. And that's how I started working on Brand Raven. That was 2013. That's when I really started working on my brand. I have 2 albums to date right now.
Wow,
Because of all the
fantastic.
hard work, yeah.
So now, before we get onto those, I just want to find out. So, Brand Raven. So, were you born with the name Raven?
Oh no. My name is interesting, but I thought Raven would be better. My birth name is Ruvimbo Mapanda.
Okay.
And I don't like to call it stage name. I rather call it my professional name, because this is my profession. It's Raven Duchess. And I'm sure you're going to ask, why Raven Duchess?
Exactly.
And I'm going to tell you why. So ravens are seen as birds that send messages from beyond, when we look at the Native Americans' perspective of it. So I'm actually sending messages across. When I'm performing, I write my own music, I produce my own albums, and I love that the music is so cheerful, whether someone is going through depression, someone is just there to have a good time. I think you can actually confirm with me. When you were here last night, everyone was dancing. And I heard some people say, this girl doesn't dance. When we go out, whenever she hears your music, she just starts to dance. So yeah.
And it was amazing.
Then Duchess, I'm from a royal bloodline actually.
Wow.
So that's why it's Raven Duchess.
Okay, a royal bloodline. Can we dig into that a bit more?
Yeah, so our tribe came from Mozambique and into Zim. Okay. I'm actually related to a very famous musician by bloodline, Thomas Mapfumo.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, our ancestors are kind of from the same lineage.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we're now here, and I'm doing this. I'm sure I'm making everybody proud.
You
who's
certainly are. You
associated-
certainly
yeah.
are. And I just love that you embody everything that is good about Africa.
Oh, yeah.
When you stand up there, you've obviously got an amazing voice, but your persona, down to what you wear,
Wow, yeah.
and your smile, it's electric, and it's wonderful to see. Like you say, last night, just I was standing towards the back, and I was just observing how these people who had come from. I mean, there were lots of foreigners here
Oh,
last night.
plenty. And Brazil was showing me so much love. There was a group from Brazil.
Were they from Brazil?
Yeah, the
Okay.
ones who were so vocal
Yes.
and singing along to everything, yet they don't know
they're
the
the
songs.
ones who had the moves in the crowd.
Yes,
I think they
yes.
could dance a bit, because there were some
Yeah.
others who were struggling a bit with their moves, but they were still embracing your music.
Yeah.
Sheesh, amazing. So anyway, let's move a little bit on to your music now, and it's been described as African fusion, blues, jazz. How is that correct? That's kind of from my very limited
I think
understanding.
all the
how-
above mentioned genres are part of me, but
Okay.
I'd love to call myself a jazz and folklore singer.
Right.
Yeah. So folklore music is the traditional Mbira music you were listening to last night, and people were loving it. So we need more of that African music out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the Mbira instrument. I feel Zimbabwe is not really pushing it as much as it should be, Definitely.
So I couldn't agree with you more. 2 weeks ago I was in the US. I was in Nashville. I wasn't there for the music scene. I was there. I sell safaris in Africa, and
All right.
so I was speaking to some people there about safaris. But then they said, no, we're in Nashville. Yeah, we've got to take you out and see the music scene here. So of course I love music, and I'm quite partial to this kind of country music. Anyway, ended up, and I just saw how a place like that is exposing, its artists, and
Yeah.
it's not like the people that I was listening to were any more talented
Yeah.
than yourself, for example, or
Oh,
others
wow,
that,
that's a
that
huge
are here in
compliment.
Zimbabwe. No, not at all. I think if anything, maybe you even have more talent, but it's a case of being able to shout about what makes you unique and what makes Zimbabweans or Africans unique in their music. Why has it not, in your
Yeah.
opinion, why has it not
Grown
reached?
to a certain level where,
Right.
the Nigerians did it.
Yes.
Everyone wants Afrobeats.
Right.
Why not our Mbira music?
Exactly. So maybe it's just a matter of time, but hopefully, even little bits of exposure like this are just small, but maybe it will stimulate others to tell your story some more, because that
Yeah.
I love the Mbira, and that is so. Tell us about the Mbira for those that don't know out there. Is that uniquely Zimbabwean, or is it something? And others have adopted it now, or was it was the Mbira, the instrument itself, was that something that was already used widely across Africa?
No, it's actually what identifies Zimbabwe as the Mbira. I know Mozambique has kalimba. It's totally different.
Okay.
So you will only find the best Mbira players here in Zimbabwe. It's
And-
that unique. That's why I think we should push it more.
And I think what I also found amazing is that I don't know how many have been able to do this. I was actually talking to Nash last night about it whilst you were up there. But the gentleman from your band, I don't know his name, but he was on the Mbira, but it was an
Jacob Mafuleni.
Jacob Mafuleni, and he
Yeah.
was playing this Mbira beautifully, and it was electric.
Yes.
Which I don't know if
You were
I've
impressed,
seen
right?
that too often. How amazing Mbira sounds amazing just without any attachment to electricity, but when you put it through there, it just adds that power.
Yes, it amplifies it.
Yeah.
So Jacob actually makes Mbira
Okay.
for people out of Zim, in Zim. He makes it, he plays it very well. There are different types of Mbira. He plays the Nare, Jari, and I think you saw the Nyunga Nyunga, the tinier one.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Very awesome musician.
Okay,
I'm so happy
so which
to-
one is the one which is that you sometimes see guys going around and it's kind of in a hollow ball, and they play it
the
inside.
hollow bowl.
Yeah.
It's called a daisy
Yes.
in Shona.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the amplifier if you do not plug it in.
Then that gives
Yes,
it
that
the-
gives it the amplification. The
Right.
sound becomes a bit louder.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not a different type of beer. That's something we add
Okay.
for just, and the vibe is a little different.
Okay.
They're little bottle tops, if you noticed, that are
Yes,
designed
yes.
there. The resonation of those little bottle tops also adds to the sound.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, I'm learning
Awesome,
things I
right?
didn't know. I'm Zimbabwean, but I didn't know some of these things.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's really amazing. Now, tell us, where do you see yourself, in a year, 5 years from now? Where do you want to be?
Ooh, Grammy Award winner.
Love it.
I see my music going global and pushing forward the Mbira music.
Okay.
Definitely. More albums. 2 right now. I want to do more albums. And I want to spread the message across to people that, yes, even if you're not Zimbabwean, you can actually learn that. And it's so beautiful. It heals your soul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Certainly does. And so, 2 albums, and you're releasing a third, am I right? Or
No,
this is,
I
okay,
just
you've
released
just
the
released
second
the
one.
second. So
Yes.
before we talk about the second, can you tell us a bit about the first?
Oh, the first was entitled Ethno Vibes.
Okay.
So it had fusion of reggae, Mbira music, and a little bit of Afro beats. It was my first album, so I was testing the waters, trying to see what people love. And well, Mbira was the number one option for everybody, internationally, locally. And then album number 2 now, Folklore. It's got mostly jazz and folklore music, which is the Mbira. We also have marimba. You love to call it xylophone, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yes, we
yeah,
call it
but,
marimba
yeah.
here. And I also played the maracas.
Okay.
Yeah. Or shakers, the ones
Yes.
you saw me playing, yeah.
Yes.
And those are uniquely just from Zimbabwe, the ones with the handles.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
You never find anyone who makes them out there. Maybe if someone teaches them from Zimbabwe. I remember I did tour in South Africa. And the guys there were like, did you bring your shakers? The ones only found in Zim. So that's where I actually found out the fact that it's Zimbabwean. That maracas shakers, yeah.
Wow. So not only in the Mbira, but also the Maracas shakers
Yes.
are uniquely Zimbabwean.
Yes.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. Okay. So that's your first and your second. Now your second album, you literally just released it, eh?
Yes.
And how has it been going? Are you getting the expected?
Yes. I think this is my second show from when I released it.
Okay.
It's very new. And on my album, I actually had some friends from South Africa featuring 4 South Africans, 1 from Argentina, and 1
Wow.
guy from Cuba. And some of my friends, the ones I was jamming with last night, are also on the album. You should listen to it.
I will. And it was obviously here at the River Brewery. I mean, they're big fans of yours, so we were listening
Yes.
to a little bit coming through the speakers
speakers,
just now. We
yeah.
had to turn them down for the interview.
Definitely.
Very exciting. So you see yourself in the next few years, growing internationally.
Yes.
And certainly from what I'm seeing, I think you deserve that opportunity, and I think it's going to come organically and naturally for you.
Yes.
How do you, though? I'm always interested, how you maintain as artists, because people just tend to think, well, you stand up there and that day in the book cafe and you've got a great voice and that's it, done. You can have your own helicopter, your own mansion, and suddenly it all falls into your lap.
One thing I'd love to say, easy come, easy go.
Right.
You have to work for it. You have to put in the practice. You have to put in discipline, which is something that will determine where you're going as a musician. Because if you lack discipline, you're going to get into drugs, you're going to get into alcohol, you're going to have a nasty character. Even on stage, people can tell this musician is shady. They make good music, but they're shady. So discipline, hard work through rehearsals, finding people who also merge with your energy when performing. It's not about me saying this is the best Mbira player or this is the best bassist. No, it's about energies for me. Because I'm feeding my energy to you, the people, and I want people with positive energy to also perform with me. So that's also part of what you have to go through when you are really professionally doing music.
It's a really important message, especially for the youngsters coming through out
Oh
there.
yes,
eh?
yes.
That
They need to know, put in the work, don't get lazy, and don't do the substance abuse stuff. Because a lot of people, they get a rock star life, If you rock too hard, you fall hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you lose that voice, by the way. I've seen a lot of international people go through that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. And you even went to bed early last night.
Now you're telling the whole world. Yeah. Discipline, like I said.
I was waiting there. We were going to party with you all night. And
No.
then you said no. So she's disciplined. That's what it takes.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the Zimbabwean music scene just in general right now. Obviously, there's a few of you with serious talent out there, but do you all respect each other, or do you find that there's a serious competition?
Well, I can't speak for people I haven't interacted with.
Right.
The ones I have are just cool people. Like, for example, some of these band members play for other artists. Our bassist plays for Winky D, who's a big artist here in Zim.
Gosh.
Yeah. Jacob used to play for Mbira Narida. I think their staple name in Zim. And he also used to play for the late Chiwoniso. So he's a legend to me and to a lot of people. Very disciplined and great interaction, whether it's people working with me or sharing of musicians, like I mentioned, some people playing with other musicians. We respect each other.
I'm glad you brought up Chiwoniso because it was something that you were quite passionate about mentioning yesterday.
Oh yes, I paid a tribute to her.
People obviously see Chiwoniso in you somehow.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? You said you weren't too sure, but maybe you have an inkling of the reason.
Definitely. I think it's because we both are poetic. If you listen to my music, it's got a poetic streak to it. And I sing vernacular and English. So I think that's where we are similar. I don't really play Mbira a lot. I do play marimba. So I think the energy too. Maybe her energy and my energy are kind of similar. And the height. We're tiny people.
Okay.
And the dreadlocks.
This amazing voice that comes out, right?
Yes. Yeah, I paid a tribute with one of her songs, Vanorapa. I'm sure you loved it too yesterday.
We did. And the local guys who were around me it was deep, for them. It was very, very nice to see that and to get that vibe. Tell me also, so you also did a tribute to Tuku, which I thought was very fitting. I've been
the legends. I mean, we have to pay tribute.
Of course. I mean, I personally have been to 2 or 3 of his concerts, and I was lucky. In fact, they weren't even concerts. He came and just sang for us in the tourism industry. So it was a small gathering. I felt so privileged. I was very sad when he passed, but he's left an incredible legacy. It was wonderful to hear you sing his work yesterday.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We miss him greatly. Even Chiwoniso, and we need to keep the momentum going. That's why I also love to represent Zim by adding that Mbira touch we were talking about, and let's keep the music alive. Yeah.
Just quickly before we end off, but I want to ask you about family. Do you have? Are you married?
I'm not gonna comment.
Right. Okay.
Everybody always asks, "Are you married? Are you dating?" And I say, "Nah, I'm not gonna talk about that. Let's not get personal." Because if you say I'm single, then you're gonna start seeing text messages. Oh, you're single. Yeah. All right. Single and not searching.
Okay.
At the moment.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think there could be some eligible
potentials
bachelors out there would be very interested. But no, it's just interesting to know, because obviously that plays into your forward planning, etc. But some of those things you can't you can't plan for.
The downside to being professional sometimes, especially for us musicians, you get to be single because you're so busy building the brand. Now you gotta find someone who appreciates that and builds with you, not pull you down.
Thank goodness I have a wife like that.
Your wife is amazing.
It's Raven. It's been just wonderful chatting to you, and I'm obviously going to be following you keenly, and the fact that I always find we have these discussions, and it's like makes me want to listen to your music even more now, knowing you, and I hope that the viewers out there that are watching here in Zimbabwe but across the world will follow you. Tell them, please, how can they access your music? You were saying it's available.
It's available on all streaming platforms. And yes, if you're asking which platforms, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, for those who love to do those challenges, do challenges to my music. Let's have fun with it. Yeah, so it's Raven Duchess on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Yeah.
Awesome. Could you leave us with one or two lines?
Which song would you want from last night? From my music. I just want to see if Luke was paying attention.
Oh no,
I'm gonna put you
you're
in the hot
putting me
seat
under
now.
So much pressure. So there was a song that you sang for us. Oh my goodness, but it's terrible of me not to remember the name. But I want to point people towards it, and you sang it again last night. I'm terribly sorry that I can't remember the name, but you sang it for us at
Jam in the Falls. Ah, people love that song,
It
even
is
on radio.
a beautiful song, and everybody
Yeah.
reacted so well to it
All
last
right.
night. Please tell us the name again.
Waka Wea Wega. There's a video on YouTube for
Weka.
that.
Yes, I know now. Thank you.
It means it came by way
Came.
of birthright.
Right.
What talent you have or whatever it is you're doing that you love doing. Yeah. So, she's just a city girl. What does she know about the ancient ways? Just a lost soul in the world. But when the spirit came, everything changed. Yeah.
Wow. I might have to ask my wife if I can take a second wife.
Oh my
Imagine
goodness.
having that type of singing every day.
Every day.
Incredible. You have an amazing
People
voice.
call me the songbird. Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful, Raven. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time today, and I wish you a safe journey back. Enjoy the falls. Spend time there. Soak it up.
Big Falls is a vibe.
It is indeed, and I hope we're going to see you back up here again soon.
Definitely. I'm going to be a regular. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you so much. Take care. If you like this episode and don't want to miss out on other ones, please go to YouTube, look for Luke Brown Zim, and hit the subscribe button. Thanks.